Hi, my name is Oliver Waterman. I'm a classical guitarist, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about classical guitar posture. So, to get started, I'm going to go over a few ways that I've used over the years to get classical guitar posture. Some that are more traditional and some that are a little bit different. And that's kind of the whole concept behind my approach to learning classical guitar, is that I like to do it a little bit differently. So really this is all about what's going to work best for you, and I'm sure any good teacher would say the same thing. The main objectives of good classical guitar posture are complete relaxation, straight back, and no overexertion. You don't want to overly strain in any aspect, whether it's your elbows, your shoulders, your wrists, your fingers, whatever is going on here. It needs to be the easiest possible way to do everything. And it all starts with good posture. So, couple basic things. I'll use my current favorite. This is a guitar support by Sage. It's magnetic, so it doesn't hurt the finish, and it always stays put, and it's adjustable. So that's good, because sometimes your seating arrangement can throw off your entire posture. When I have this connected, there are a couple of things that are exactly the same every time. So I'm making sure that my back is straight and my shoulders are dropped. And then if I look over here, eye level is the very top of the headstock. And then just below that is where the first fret goes. Now, not a lot of people show this, but if I was to just lift my elbow, my arm is straight down, I just lift the elbow, a little extra effort I can get here. You don't want to have to be using excessive amounts of effort to get to the first fret. It wants to be very easy. But you also want to have full access to the whole fretboard. So that's what this angle provides. With bad posture, if you just have it on the left leg, if you're crossing, you have this leaning thing in order to get that same angle. See that it's awful for your back. Or you can do this, which is awful for your shoulder and your arm and your wrist. The way a lot of guitarists play here is okay. But then what happens when you need to do more difficult stretches throughout the fretboard? You start to compress, you start to strain, you start to stretch. So, back to the important elements of posture. By being able to sit up straight, you have no excessive strain on your back, on your chest. You can reach the entire fretboard with ease. Some fretting positions can require movements, but that should be a temporary position. It should never be something that you're doing the whole time you're playing. This is your default stance. You can lean, you can move, but it's important that your default stance is very comfortable. stretches are examples. You do it for a brief period of time. Now, obviously, if you have shorter arms, longer, everyone's a different shape. And so some people have to have a steeper incline on the neck or a shallower one. But it's typically right around this area, like this 1-inch area. So this is my preferred method. But there are a couple of other methods. And so this one is the best. I believe that out of all the methods that are available to get good posture, the support systems are the best. You don't have to go for the top shelf like the Sagework guitar supports, but they are superior in a number of ways to everything else that exists. And they're usable on all your guitars, well, classicals or acoustics. But if you're playing an electric but you still want to have good posture, there are difficulties with that, and you can't really fit it onto the body of an electric guitar. Most supports don't work that way. So you're left to use the traditional footstool. And I'm going to have links to all of this stuff in the description. So the footstool, when you place that at an appropriate height, you put your left leg on it, and then you can rest the guitar here. And you'll see that this is too shallow of a slope, and it partly is due to the size of my guitar. It's a little smaller. So you can change the height of the footstool, and that's the benefit to having a footstool, is that they're very adjustable, and then you can get it to the right level. So you still want to focus on that straight back. The thing about footstools, especially with newer students that are used to using them, is that they tend to hunch over a little bit. There's this twisting that happens in the back, so that's why it's not as good, in my opinion, as a support. But if you focus a little bit and you practice your stance, you can get a fairly straight posture. And then you have full range of motion across the fretboard once again. Now, if you do not have a support for any reason, there is always the guitar case. So we've always been using this. This is a staple for guitarists that need a footstool in a pinch. So we're going to cut out of this. It's about the same height, and it slopes a little bit, so it can go lower, it can go higher. So a guitar case is the best in a pinch version of a footstool. If you don't like either of those, there is always guitar straps. Now, I use this for most of my college days, and my professor used one as well, because it does really just sit quite comfortably right here like this. The angle is perfect. It does this if you let go of it, but you just put your arm there like an armrest, and it works quite nicely. For me, while I do like it, it creates tension in my shoulder. And maybe it was from years of bad posture when I was in rock bands, but I tend to push against the strap. And even though it's not an excessive amount of weight, it still creates pain after a long period of time. So I only use a strap when I absolutely have to. The guitar support is still superior. But for electric guitarists that don't like footstools, and if you don't have anything else to use, a strap is good. It's just that you have to be aware of your posture, and you have to be aware of your shoulder, because you can strain the shoulder, you can strain your neck, and you don't have anything else forcing you to sit up straight, so you have to remind yourself to do this.